So, you know, the beautiful thing is you have the facets. And absolutely you have to use them. If you have reactions in your body that are so strong, you just need to close your eyes and you have to dissolve them. You know, because these feelings of fear, they grip you, it's like, oh, it's almost a panic attack. But what you will also find, the more you unify, they will start to dilute. Because it's the high level of stress that sparks anything. But once you start to take those levels down, you won't be reacting so much. Because the system becomes empty. So the more you heal, the less these things affect you. You know, fear is implanted in our bodies. It starts from a thought and then a physical reaction. Or a physical reaction and then a thought. But it's illusionary. It creates the human landscape. But we can get to the point where it disappears. Okay, and it's the expansion of consciousness does that. It elevates the vibration so it doesn't exist anymore. Because everything's memory. It's recorded. And as it starts to dilute, so do the reactions. So it's everything. Doing the system, when it happens, not having the habitual response of leaving the body and panicking. Doing the opposite. Enter the body and anchor in the heart. You have to do that. Yeah? Good.
Hi, Isha. I want to ask you the same that I asked the first day. What is unconditional love? To see how it resonates today after all the things I let go of.
Unconditional love is a very high vibration. It's internal and it's self-sustaining and it moves out. It comes from here. It doesn't need anything. It doesn't want to change anything. It wants to give. But it's an energy. Love, unconditional love is an energy. And you feel it here. When you use the facets, you're cultivating love consciousness or unconditional love. It's inside of you. So as the stress leaves and the memories leave, or they lose their force or their reality, you start to become a vehicle of unconditional love. It's your natural beingness. Yes? Did you achieve that this week? Muy bien. Good.
Hi, Isha. I would like a lot if you can talk about the facet the transformer.
Well, there's not really much to talk about. It's the same thing I'm talking about. It's energetic. You know, I'm awakening all of the chakras and moving the energy. And it's more rapid, the movement, so it's eliminating quicker. But everything is energetic. This is what we don't know. We think this is solid. But what holds the vibration is energy. And we have an electrical circuit in our bodies, and we have portals that start to open as we go into higher vibrations. So this is just prompting that change. It's prompting it. Yeah. So I start with the presence, which is taking the energy through. And then I start with the transformer, which is basically removing any blocks. But all of the facets are focused on that. You know, some of them are more specific. But the whole focus is to become empty and become the vibration of love consciousness permanently. It's energetic. Yeah.
Hi, Isha, I want to ask you about when people talk only through jokes, teasing. My family communicates in that way. And naming, doing names. The teasing is part of the communication.
You know, I think the most important thing for you is to stop identifying with everything. You're looking for places that you're feeling offended or hurt. And, you know, that's how people are. Humans are like that. They don't say something straight to your face. They'll say a joke and maybe they mean it, but they don't have the courage to say it. And then they say, no, I was just joking. Yeah, I do that all the time. Yeah, and often it's that. A lot of the time it's passive-aggressive. But it's habitual. My mother was like that. And I was like that. In fact, Australia's like that, I think. Like, if we love you, we give you a hard time, no? And that means we love you. And sometimes it's passive aggression and black humour. But it's like that. But I don't think it's important. You know, we're always looking to get offended, no? So what is our job? To not take ourselves so seriously. To laugh at yourself. Then if someone pokes something at you, you're not so affected. It's like, oh, yeah, well, they're like that. Or just laugh. Then that's the only thing we can do. We have to stop being victims. Always looking for other people to respect us. Because they don't. Why? Because they don't respect themselves. It's our responsibility to change. And as we change, everyone around us changes. And we start to change the patterns. Because we learn it from our parents. We learn it at school. We learn it from our friends. It's habitual. Yeah, so yeah, sure. It's a way of saying something that you don't really want to say, but you want them to know you think that. And then you laugh, you go, oh, just joking. And then the other person thinks, I don't think they were joking. I don't think they were joking. It's like that. But it's so unimportant. It's not important. Start laughing at yourself.
Hi, Isha. I wanted you to talk a bit about what's about the letting go of attachment, the letting go. Can you talk a bit?
You know, the thing is, everything's an external movement. If you're attached, there's a fear, no? It's, and I want to grab it. Okay, and you have to see this movement. It's energetic. It's, and you have to do this. You've got to take it back and dissolve it in consciousness. You know, because it's just grains of sand in the desert. It's not important, but we think it is because we're focused on it. But when you put it back into the desert, you know, it's everywhere. You understand? And you have to have the intelligence to see that movement. Take it back and allow it to dissolve. And as it dissolves, it will lose its power. But energetically, you feel attachment because it comes from fear. So you give it back to the love. And you have to be smart, no? You have to be very present. If you're present, you can see it. It's like, All right, stop, back. And you'll break it. And addictions are like that. If you watched that movie, what was it called? What the Bleep? You never remember. You remember how they have like these, the little characters, and how they get activated. And it's all electrical. You know, you think something and the little monsters are activated. So every time you cut that, there's less little monsters and there's less strength. And the way to cut that is to come back to the love. Because all addictions are like that. It's control, attachment, fear. It all comes from the same point. It doesn't matter what the subject is. That feeling, that... Yes? Go.
My question is, if we are what we think or what we feel?
I don't think you're either. That's all you're talking. All of that's your human experience.
Our mind creates illusions and make us feel that we are that.
Sure. But it's illusionary. Like you said, we create illusions. I hope you aren't what you think. That would be horrible. Because I'm sure it's not all love and light. Yeah, exactly. No, you're not what you think. That's why I try to train you not to think. And think facets. Because you are actually the facets. The praise, the love, the gratitude, the unity, the perfection. That's who you are. But it's not your experience. But as your consciousness expands and your perception changes, you start to experience being that. And also, in order to experience that, we have to liberate a lot of emotions, no? Yeah, so you're not your emotions either. Y tampoco you're not your body. You're much more than that. You're the totality. You're that love. And you have to start identifying more with that. That which doesn't change. And the facets take you there. And everything starts to dissolve in the presence of love. Everything. You have to watch the movie. Aiko.
Thank you. I feel I connected so much with different things this week. And I started feeling again as when I was a kid. And I feel I move lots of things. But after I move them, I go back with a facet and it comes back again out. And it's very strong. And I want to know how to be more gentle to be able to let go of that.
You know, this is your big thing. It's your root stress. And it takes time. You know, it's not something you just move one lot of stress and it goes. And also your stress attaches to that story. And it could be different stress,
Y podría ser un estrés de otro lugar diferente.
but it attaches to that
Pero se
story
apega a la misma
because that's the thing that most impacts you.
porque esa es la cosa que más te impacta.
And you just have to be patient.
Solo tienes que ser paciente.
But when you leave the 6 months,
Pero vas a ver cuando te vayas a los 6
you won't have
meses,
that story
ya no
anymore.
vas a tener esa historia. que
Well,
tenías.
it'll be a story.
Va a ser simplemente una historia en el tiempo.
It's not going to be something that affects you.
Algo que te esté afectando.
Yeah? Qué bueno. We've all got a story.
Todos tenemos una historia.
Hi. Good morning, Isha. Good morning. The question is, what is about this that you talk about taking responsibility? I consider myself responsible, but you always say you have to take responsibility. When and where?
Responsibility
Responsabilidad
is what I'm being.
es aquello que uno está haciendo.
And it comes from unconditional love
Y
of
viene del
self.
amor incondicional a uno mismo.
Who am I being?
¿Quién estoy yo siendo?
What do I choose to
¿Qué
be?
es lo que elijo ser?
Because within 100
Porque en
situations,
medio de 10 situaciones, de 100 situaciones,
we can feel like victims.
podemos sentirnos como víctimas.
And how we respond to the
Y el
victimism
cómo respondemos a ese victimismo,
defines who we are.
eso define quiénes somos.
And that is
Y eso es
responsibility.
responsabilidad.
I use everything external to
Yo
heal,
uso todo lo externo para sanar,
to elevate my
para elevar mi
consciousness,
conciencia,
to be more,
para ser más.
to the point where nothing
Al
affects
punto
me
en que nada me afecta
emotionally because
emocionalmente,
I'm empty.
porque estoy vacía.
Okay, and that's
Eso es
responsibility.
responsabilidad.
And then at some
Y
point,
después, en algún punto,
you become the
te
facet.
transformas en la faceta.
I'm responsibility. I
Responsabilidad.
am that.
Yo soy
There's
eso.
nothing other
Y
than
no hay
that.
nada más que eso.
But the
Pero
attachment
el apego
to the
al
drama
drama
or the judgment
o los juicios
has gone.
se ha ido ya.
So you just perceive the human
Así que
experience
simplemente percibes la experiencia humana
within its perfection
en su perfección
instead of through the eyes of
en vez de a
criticism.
través de los ojos de la crítica.
Hmm? That's the supreme
Esa es
responsibility.
la responsabilidad suprema.
How many humans experience that
¿Cuántos seres humanos llegan a experimentar eso
in the world?
en el mundo?
Poco. So yes, it's not about paying the bills.
Así que no se trata de pagar las cuentas del tiempo.
Sencillamente saber cuando uno está en conciencia
To know when you are in consciousness
que yo siento
or in the mind,
boicoteo.
because I feel a self-boycott.
Cuando me quiero sentir satisfecho en una situación,
When I want to feel satisfied into something, I say, is my consciousness having me happy? But then I wonder, oh, maybe it's my mind putting there a bag telling me you're super great.
Consciousness.
Conciencia.
It's okay.
Y está bien.
Don't listen. Your ego is the other little voice
Tu ego es la otra vocecita.
that's
Esa
criticizing
que
you
critica.
because you're not that person.
Porque tú no eres esa persona.
Just trust.
Solo confía.
Trust in your
Confía
experience
en tu experiencia.
and trust what's happening.
Y confía en aquello que sucede.
You know, it's so easy to believe the
Es
negativity
tan fácil creer en la negatividad.
because we've been taught that that's real.
Porque se nos ha enseñado que eso es lo real.
And the love,
Y que el amor,
the praise,
la
the
apreciación,
gratitude
la gratitud,
is naive.
como que si eso fuera ingenuo.
But it's the opposite.
Pero es lo opuesto.
If it comes from a place of
Si viene
innocence
de un lugar de inocencia,
and we're creating wonderful
estamos
things,
creando cosas hermosas.
great, appreciate it.
Maravilloso, aprécialo.
That's all.
Eso es todo.
Don't question so much.
No cuestiones tanto.
You know, the biggest secret is not to be violent with
El
ourselves,
secreto más grande en realidad es no ser violento con uno mismo.
not put so much pressure on
No poner
ourselves.
tanta presión sobre uno.
And then we can be more
Y
joyful,
después
no?
así podemos ser más dichosos.
And that's where the love flows from, the
Y
joy.
desde ahí fluye el amor.